Erin, today, Chikane, who raised Chikane's name at the commission? Remind us, how does he get to be here today?
Yes, well, former GCIS Director General, thank you, Themba Maseko raised the 101 ANC Stalwarts and spoke about this document that they wrote in 2016, which was called Sake of Our Future. And that document really delineates the Stalwarts' grievances about the ANC, the state of leadership, or the vacuum of leadership, really, and the paralysis in which the party found itself. So Themba Maseko named Chikane among many of those 101 Stalwarts, and it may be that from that, or Chikane's own volition, he's now going to testify at the commission.
Okay, I mean, Lord Peter Hain yesterday was using all kinds of descriptions about the problems of corruption in our country, and at one point he said it was like a near-death experience. And Frank Chikane, how has he referred to state capture?
He's called it a coup. He's called it treason if people in government misappropriate SOE contracts or state resources, state money, and then use it either for commercial gain or, importantly, also political gain. Then he says that's an act of treason, that's a kind of coup. And he almost raised a kind of a veiled warning in about 2017 when he said he didn't want comrades to be charged with treason over this issue of state capture. So that gives you a sense of perhaps a hint toward those in power at the time about what the stakes were when it came to stealing from government.
Okay, now we know that billions of rand, I mean, were sort of looted, literally, and siphoned. What has he had to say about that?
Yeah, well, that's where the whole treason and coup aspect comes into things. What's important about Chikane as well is that when Zuma stepped down on the 14th of February 2018, the day after at St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town, a group of stalwarts got together and he welcomed that decision. He said that this was about time, that the ANC had been under the wrong leadership even, said Chikane, and that for 5 years the party had really sort of degraded into a state of paralysis. And in fact, in November of 2017, there was a gathering of stalwarts in Johannesburg. This is some of what he had to say then.
The key thing is that our country is in a crisis because the ANC, which is the ruling party, is in a crisis. And we are here to look at that crisis, devise strategies to fix it so that the country is not put at risk. The ANC leadership is paralyzed. It's not able to deal with the challenges we are facing. We are facing serious challenges about corruption. We are facing serious challenges about state capture, capturing the organs of the state and using them to protect individuals to make sure that even when they commit crimes, they never go to jail. That means that the people get demoralized. And the ordinary criminals think, well, if the leaders do it and they are not arrested, then we may as well as continue doing it. It has a huge impact on the country.
Okay, there's Frank Chikane there. That was way back in 2017. A lot has happened since then. Should we expect anything new, more revelations from him? I mean, we know where he stands, and he's written a book about what happened in the last days of the Thabo Mbeki presidency, at the time when Zuma was coming in, stuff like that. And when Frank Chikane comes in, should we expect some fireworks or more of the same, or confirmation of what we already know?
It's hard to say. If I sort of read the metaphorical tea leaves, I think it's likely we're going to get a lot of rehash of what's happened with the stalwarts, the kind of issues around ANC's internal structures between the older generation, you know, Rivonia trialist veterans, and then, you know, the leadership under Zuma. But in terms of expecting anything new, we can always hope for bombshells and fireworks, and we often use those terms to describe the evidence at the commission. But Chikane is only down for half a day, so it's quite likely that it'll be fairly narrow and that he'll really just hone in on some of those areas already covered.
Okay, and then after he's done with his half a day, Lieutenant General Yolisa Matakata, former Hawks head, is going to be testifying. Very briefly, Aaron, who mentioned the Lieutenant General?
Well, among those who mentioned her is former Hawks head in KwaZulu-Natal General Johan Boysen. He, of course, along with Robin McBride of IPID, spoke about law enforcement agencies, the corrosion of law enforcement agencies and misappropriation of them in order to fulfill political ends or sort of meet political ends and, you know, work behind the scenes to spy on people and threaten them and, you know, redirect resources away from proper prosecutions and into hounding people allegedly who were not following the drumbeat of the leadership at the time. So So Matakata may touch on that and give us insight into her role as acting head of the Hawks.
Thank you very much. Erin Bates, as usual, on point. You're going to go now to Parktown?
I'm going to go upstairs to my desk and watch it from there.
And watch it from there. Okay, not in Parktown today. Thank you very much. Erin Bates tracking that state capture inquiry story for us. The Reverend Frank Chikane on the stand today.